I am Anil Kumar, and now let us practice how to solve equations with variables on both sides. List operations you would use to isolate the variable, then solve the equation. So we have equation with variables on both the sides. So you need to write down the operations which should be performed to solve this equation. You can pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestion. So first step here is to create equivalent equation, right? So the first step here is to create equivalent equation, right? How do you do that? This is done by finding lowest common denominator. So you times by lowest common denominator, right? So once you do that, you get equivalent equation without fractions, right? So that is the whole idea. So whenever you have equations with fractions involved or the rational numbers involved, then you should get them kind of linear without fractions, right? So you do that by creating equivalent equation, right? And then you can follow these steps for solving it, which involves inverse operation, right? So then you can perform inverse operation. In steps, right? So one by one. And normally steps order is kind of reverse, right? So perform inverse operation in steps to isolate and solve for variable, right? In this case, the variable is x. So these are the two major steps involved. Let us see how to apply them, right? So we have this equation, and the lowest common denominator for us is what? So lowest common denominator between 3 and 2 is 6, right? So we can multiply by 6 on both the sides. We have 3x minus 1 over 3 times, so we'll multiply this by 6, equals to x plus 3 divided by 2, and we'll multiply this side also by 6. Multiplying by 6 results into effectively multiplying left side by 2, so you get 2 times 3x minus 1. Since 6 divided by 3 is 2, right? And the right side by 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so we can write this as x plus 3 times 3, right? Now sometimes we also call this strategy as cross multiply. So I'm writing here cross multiply. Some of you can use this strategy to find equivalent equation. So multiply the left side by the denominator on the right side and the right side by denominator on the left side, right? So 3 times x plus 3, 2 times as we are now doing. Then of course you have to expand and then simplify. So when we expand, we get 6x minus 2 equals to 3x plus 9. Now we need to group variables on one side, constants on the other side. So we can do 6x minus 2 is equals to 3x plus 9. So at this stage, we should take away 3x from both the sides. So if I take away 3x on both the sides, we group variables on the left side, which is 3x minus 2 on the left. On the right side, we have the constant 9. Now, to find x, we need to get rid of minus 2, which we can do by adding 2 on both the sides, correct? So we'll add 2 on both the sides. So when you add 2 on both sides, you get 3x equals to 11, right? So you get 3x equals to 11. Now you can solve for x by dividing by 3 on both the sides. So 11 divided by 3 becomes your solution, correct? 11 divided by 3 becomes your solution. So at the end, we divided both sides by 3 to get the result, right? So that is how you should be solving equations which involves variables on both the sides. I hope that helps.